Well, it's after hours. Yeah, I'm your host, Mike Rockstone. To be honest, just sort of, it's my first stream with StreamYard. So, you know, there's, there will be some mistakes made. Pretty sure about that. And other than that, how are you doing? Yeah. Yeah, like and subscribe if you haven't already. You know that it matters. Um, I think what we're gonna do here for now. I mean, we're looking at some cultural tropes and stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit funny. This feeling inside. Um, so I got to thinking about this, and I was like, is it, I guess the cornucopia is back on the fruit of the loom logo. So it was really strange, when it disappeared, right? Like we all knew it was there, but then there was this like weird gaslight. It was like, no, man, that never happened. Was it a gaslight or was it like a real Mandela effect, man? See, there's zero cognitive security. It's a buzz phrase. The tech bros say this stuff ever since AI. It's a cognitive wild west, and that's because so much of our reality is really, yeah, based on our interactions with the internet, the netosphere. Like a digital reality matrix of perception and belief. And so you have to wonder. I mean, this is where I'm wondering sometimes. I'm like, are we? Is it really some kind of a large hadron collider, CERN timeline hopping thing, or is it just like, are they just running simulations to see how much they can fuck with your head? A few years ago, I became aware of this thing called the Sentient World Simulation (SWS), and it was an experiment being performed at Purdue University. Don't bother going to look for it because it's been scrubbed. But at the time, this was maybe 4 years ago, I wrote an article about it on rstv.mikerockstone.com. And I recently gone back to look at that article and be like, what was it about? And, I hate this. They keep scrubbing the freaking internet, and so, oh, by the way, I'm not soundproofed here at all. So if you heard it like a large truck go by on the highway, well, that's because the highway was either built too close to the house or the house was built too close to the highway. But I'm not closing this window because it's too hot. So I guess we're going to have to deal with it. Um, you scrubbing the internet, and like all of my posts that I published like 4 or 5 years ago, stuff they all have dead links. Goes to a 404. Well, that doesn't look too good. I don't want my links going to a 404 error page. Oh, looks like maybe you misspelled it. Misspell shit. Anyway, so there's the Internet Archive. God bless the Internet Archive. And so I've been able to recover some stuff with the Wayback Machine, but that Purdue study on the sentient world simulation, I mean, they scrubbed it from the archive. I don't know, but basically, this might connect into the data centers. I don't know how much data and compute and all that it takes to run a 3D world simulation, but they want to have a digital representation of every tree and leaf and blade of grass and human being on the planet. So I gotta imagine that's a lot of data. I don't know. It was data centers or something else. I don't know. Who knows what the hell's going on there? You know, it's national security. We know that. But somebody said, well, they're using them for the underground cities, you know, because everybody's moving underground because apparently there's a coming cataclysm of some sort. And I'm just going to shout it out right now, archaix.com, or the YouTube channel here, ARCHAIX. And that's is the word for it, is it acronym? Is that the right word? Advanced Research Chronological History of Artificial Intelligence X. But Jason Breshears is a really incredible researcher. And he's done a lot of work to sort of synthesize the calendars and the timeline, you know. And so he has this theory about the beginning is the same event as the end. The beginning is the same as the end. So, have you ever seen a snake eating its own tail? Well, the tail end is right there next to the mouth end. You know what I mean? Snake eating its tail. The Ouroboros. Eros Ouroboros. Phases and stages, circles and cycles, scenes that we've all seen before. Let me tell you some more. It's Willie Nelson, if you didn't know it. At any rate, yeah, it seems to be the size of it. So, phases and stages, circles and cycles. So he's got all these charts and calendars and stuff, you know. And basically, he's like, yeah, according to the the calendar patterns and the projections going all the way back to year one Anno Mundi. Well, it's not Anno Domini, it's Anno Mundi. Not the year of our Lord, it's the year of the world. Anno Mundi. So year one of Anno Mundi is the new heavens and the new earth of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. So he claims that these are survivors from the previous reset. And the next reset, like we're not talking about like a regional, local, civilizational kind of, well, I mean, civilization's included, I guess, but it's like a full-on server reset is 2178. That's the sort of the end of the, at 2178, it's such a world-destroying cataclysm that that it sends us back to the Adam and Eve point, you know, the day one of the, or year one, I guess, of the world that follows. And of course, the year 2178 Anno Domini, or Common Era, is it's a strange thing, that Anno Domini calendar. I guess it came about somewhere in the 6th century. And then they went backwards, you know, like, well, if we're in the year 550 or something. Well, it wasn't the year 550 for them. It was So the Anno Mundi, see, this is where the calendars get a little bit weird. They get a little strange, right? The timelines, cycles. The Anno Mundi, year one being like Adam and Eve stuff. And then up until now, I think it's like 5,920. You think, according to the Anno Mundi calendar, this is year 5,920 of the world since Adam and Eve. I think so. But it's strange because it's like 2017 in Ethiopia or something. I mean, these calendars. All right. Well, so what I was gonna do is I was gonna put on some other shit here. Let's see. Oops. Hello again. How are you? Let's do it like this. I'm going to mute my microphone. We're going to do some glitch in the Matrix videos. I haven't watched any of these. Wonder if I resize this screen a little bit. Well, that seems to be right. I just did a little search on the TikTok and looked up the glitch in the Matrix, and these are the top ones. So I ain't seen them. We're just gonna see what happens here. Let's see. Oh, it's muted, huh?
And as always,
Jesus.
I remember once waiting in line for the bathroom. This girl got in before it was my turn. I waited 10 minutes, bladder feeling like it was going to burst. I knocked several times to ask if she was okay. No answer. Then the same girl just started waiting behind me. I bought a big tin of coffee, opened it, and poured about a third into another container I keep next to the kettle. When putting the tin away in the cupboard above, it slipped from my hands and landed upside down on the counter. I picked it up, turned it over, opened it, and it was 100% full again. Went to the bathroom at work, used the middle stall. The other two were occupied. I would never choose the middle stall unless it was my only choice. After I finished, I somehow walked out of the third stall. When I was younger, I would walk to the school bus every morning and always pass a woman who appeared to be around 45 years old. I can't clearly recall how she was introduced in conversation with my mom and me, but she mentioned that she had once lived in the neighborhood, only to add that she had passed away years ago, making it impossible for me to have seen her every day. I'm still confused by how this could have happened. I could have sworn I saw reality have a frame rate issue today. I was out driving my delivery route for work like usual, minding my business, and I could have sworn I saw reality drop a couple frames. Like, when you're playing a PC game and it lags a little, that's exactly what I saw. Like the road just jumped a little and continued on like normal. I've never seen anything like this before except in an actual PC game. I was seeing a play once and my field of vision zoomed in for a second. All the actors and the stage, etc., got bigger, literally as if I'd zoomed in on a photo and then went back to normal. It's never happened again, and I can't seem to find anything about any type of symptoms for it either. I had this weird experience the other day where I swear I saw the same person twice in two completely different places, like within minutes of each other. I was in a store, looked at someone, and then later walked past them at the gas station. Same clothes, same face, almost like I was seeing them in a parallel timeline. Anyone else had something like that happen? A glitch that made you question if we're all just living in some kind of simulation? The world sped up for 2 seconds. I was driving and approaching a very busy four-way stop. Suddenly, all the cars sped up from the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit to what seemed about 60 miles per hour or so. The music playing on my radio also sped up. So fast, it was just that high-pitched, squeaky sound you get when something is sped up. It only happened for 2, maybe 3 seconds, and then everything was fine again. I don't know if this is a glitch, but back in 2024, I lost a picture that was mailed to me. A couple minutes ago, I was just watching TikTok in my bed when out of nowhere it appeared and landed on my foot. I looked around and there's nowhere it could have came from. And at number 10, I hate to say this, but I almost jumped a few days ago. I closed my eyes and screamed for someone to help me jump because I didn't have the strength to. I opened my eyes and I was sitting on my couch. Well, for number 10, something definitely saved them. But how do you explain all of the other things in this list? Make it make sense. Top 10 glitches in the Matrix from my comment section, part.
Yeah, I don't know, partner. Yeah, what do you think? You always talk so fast on TikTok. What's that about? Is that a thing? You have to talk fast on TikTok? Yeah, I'm a slow moving fogey, man. I'm not wearing my glasses. I can't even see what it says on the screen. I should apologize for those ridiculous sound effects. Like, the other day, and this friend of mine called me, and they were like, "Hey, did I get something? Did something come for me in the mail? Something come for me in the mail?" And I said, "These nuts? No, okay, all right. Well, anyway, yeah, that wasn't too funny." Well, let's see what the next video has in store for us. I gotta mute the microphone, I think, just because.
Okay, I'm freaking out. I just saw a video about this the other day, and I was like, oh, that's never happened to me, but I believe it, whatever. So, like the little theory about how, I don't even know, we have different timelines and such. So, I bought a sun and moon, these earrings, okay? These earrings. And just to show you, because I do have another pair of sun and moon earrings. They're over here. Sun and moon. Tell me why. And by the way, this one's broken. What the fuck? Where did that come from? And it's also broken. What the fuck? Okay,
There's been a lot of that, floating around these days. Have you had anything like that happen? I got to tell you, I don't disbelieve it, but I have not personally experienced that. It is interesting that the one that showed up was also broken. But was it broken in the same way? Was it like a replication? And when this happens, like, what's your theory, man? Like some people think, oh, well, there must be another timeline where the other me lost the earring. So I ended up with that person's, which is me from another timeline. Yeah, I don't know. And we might as well bring it up. I mean, you think it has anything to do with the old LHC in Switzerland? The old Large Hadron Collider, also known as CERN. I mean, some people are concerned about that. So I do have a couple of polls going here, actually, now that you mention it, Mike. Yeah, put on my old man eyes here. Let me tell you something, folks, because I build websites for a living. That's what I do. And I do a lot of graphic design and stuff. And staring at these screens, and I did that for years, and then I realized that I don't know how that pole works. That's stupid. I'm going to hide it. It's just kind of dumb. I realized that the blue light is what it was. It's the blue light. So I've got a video about it on my Subtle Moments of Absurdity channel on Rumble. It's like a I don't know, like 7 minutes or something lecture from a neurosurgeon, and he talks about the blue light and just the whole light spectrum, uh, and how the blue light's causing you to get this macular degeneration. Well, I don't think there's any coming back from that. So, just personally, uh, what I started doing is I've got a Mac here, but I know Windows also does it. You get that like nighttime setting where it's like orangey, weird looking colors. Nothing looks right, but it cancels the blue light. I guess people have glasses for that. These glasses here only magnify shit, so um, got them from the dollar store. But you can get glasses for a screen, like a screen filter. I don't know. All right, well, let's look at the next one here.
This morning, I experienced an absolutely terrifying glitch in the Matrix. I am actually terrified. So I experienced a time travel glitch in the Matrix, and I'm basically gonna tell you guys what happened. So last night, I set my alarm for 9:30 this morning. I'm freelance, so I don't have a job that I have to go to. I work from home, I create content, and I make music. And I was like, I'm gonna wake up at 9:30. I have a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. Oh my god. There's a really weird noise coming from outside right now. So I woke up at 9:30. My alarm was going off. My phone is charging next to my bed, always. So I unplugged my phone like usual, set it down on the other side of the bed, and I stopped my alarm. It was a beautiful day outside. There's no one downstairs because there's like a hole in my bedroom. I'll show you.
So I sleep up here. There's like a hole to down here where you can hear everything that's going on. So I could hear that there was no one downstairs.
Like I said, the sun was shining, it was beautiful. And I was like, I'm so relaxed, I'm gonna sleep for 5 more minutes. I didn't set an alarm, I never do this. I usually just wake up after 5 minutes. So I ended up falling asleep for a couple of hours, and I can usually tell the time in my dreams, like how long I've been asleep for. And in this particular dream, I was with my partner, and I ended up telling him, like, I have to go because I have to wake up because it's like 11. It's gonna be like past 11, and I have so much stuff to do today. I can't believe I overslept this much. And I woke up, and I reached over to where my charging place is, and I was like, oh, that's right, my phone's not there. It's on the other side of the bed. So I went to grab my phone, and at first I didn't notice this, but it was dark outside, and there were people downstairs. And I was like, what? Have I slept until later today? So I checked my phone, and it says 7, but not 7 p.m., 7 a.m. And I was like, that can't make any sense because I woke up at 9. It's got to be like half 11. And I checked it again and again and again, double checking. And I was like, but that doesn't make any sense. And you guys might just think that I was sleepy and I dreamt my alarm going off, but if so, why was my phone on the other side of the bed? In my sleep, I'm really, really still. Honestly, when my friends come over to my house, they think I'm dead. I don't snore, I don't move around, I don't do any of that. So it's impossible for me to have unplugged my phone and moved it in my sleep. Which means I must have woken up at 9:30 because also my alarm had not gone off. There was no like alarm setting for 9:30. I checked. There was nothing. So that means my alarm went off at 9:30. I woke up. I slept until 11:30 and I woke up at 7 a.m. It doesn't make any sense. Same day. The outside was dark. People were downstairs. It was so scary. And then I couldn't go back to sleep because I was like, I've been caught in a glitch in the Matrix. This morning I experienced.
Man, that never happens to me. Usually when I, like if the alarm goes off and then I snooze it. Usually when I wake up, it's later in the day. And I do mean day because It's usually when I'm sleeping. If you had time move backwards on you, there's two things I would say about this. Number one, and I just started doing this, but I recommend it. When you, and it's, it's kind of, it's like, so when I go to sleep now, I always turn my phone off. And I mean, I know it's still communicating. You can't remove the battery, but I turn it off because let me tell you something, man. You think these devices, like this computer monitor or your phone, screen, you think it's just one way, right? It's just a pipeline going one direction towards you, but no, it's a two-way communication, man. Two-way, because it's also reading your field. You know what I mean? Either, I mean, if you know, you know. So it can influence your dreams. I believe. I believe it can. Anyway, yeah, I might turn it off when I go to sleep. Or if I have to charge it and have it on, you got to have it like at least 6 feet away from you. You know what I mean? Like you're going to have to, if you've got an alarm set or somebody calls you in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day, if you're me, you got to get up and walk over there and get it. So that way it's not. You ever seen a Venn diagram? You know what I'm talking about? A Venn diagram with the two circles, and then the two circles like, it's like the MasterCard logo, right? The two circles like do that thing where they connect, and there's that piece in the middle where the two circles overlay. That's what it is. You're one circle, the phone's another circle, and if those circles are overlaid, then those networks are connected. And you're like, you say, "Oh, Mike, I don't have a network. The phone has a network." Well, you do have a wireless signal. In fact, what do they call it? The WBAN, the Wireless Body Area Network. Um, and they also call it something else. Oh, the Internet of Bodies. You know, so I'm not just crazy making this stuff up, as far as I know. But that's allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. That was one thing. There was another thing I was going to mention, but hell, I forgot what it was. Time going backwards. In the year 713 BC, I believe it was. It's well documented. In fact, it changed everything. In that year, the sun went backwards across the sky. It went backwards. And up until that point, the Anno Mundi calendar, right, the year of the world calendar, one year was 360 days. 360. It's a perfect circle. In the year 713 BC, around there, at least, it was something like that, there was an event that occurred that's documented in history where the sun went backwards across the sky. And ever since then, 1 year has been 365 days and a quarter, right? 0.25. Every 4 years, we get that extra day. 365.25 days. It added 5.25 days to the calendar for a year. if I'm just, I mean, if the solar system that they say, you know, we're in, right, with this spinning globe and orbit around the sun, and the sun doesn't move. So, in order for it to go backwards across the sky, you have to imagine some pretty wild physics would have to occur. Anyway, it's documented. It happened. Up until that point, it was 360 days a year, and now it's 365.25. So, I mean, that's all the proof you need that it did occur. The fact that it occurred, though, is some would say proof that we're living in a holographic simulation. The holosphere of the simulacrum. Is it simulacrum? Simulacrum? I don't know which is the right way to say it. Yeah, at any rate, yeah, that's neither here nor there. It's allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Let's see another video. What the heck?
This was definitely a timeline or dimension shifting glitch in the Matrix experience that you guys have tagged me and watched.
If you've never experienced a glitch in the Matrix, this is probably not the video for you. So just continue scrolling because you're going to think that I'm crazy. If you have experienced it, I want to know if anyone has experienced anything similar to this, especially from a young age. So I've had multiple glitches throughout my life, especially now that I've gotten older, I can understand what's happening. But I want to talk about the very first one. The very first one that I can remember that I was like, am I crazy or are all of you crazy? So this is around 4th or 5th grade, elementary school. My grandma would pick me up from school 2 to 3 times a week. We were very close. My grandma lived like rock throwing distance from my house. So I would literally travel up the creek through the woods to my grandmother's house that I would go. I would spend all my time with my grandma. So after school, she would pick me up and we would go to Wendy's. That was our thing. We loved Wendy's. My grandma has very prominent blue eyes, like crystal clear. It's a very prominent feature about my grandma that she has very blue, piercing crystal blue eyes. So this one day, she picks me up. We go to Wendy's. We're sitting in the glass area. If you know Wendy's back then you know what I'm talking about. We're sitting there eating our fries, and I look up at my grandma, and my grandma has brown eyes. They're brown. And so naturally, I was like, Grandma, your eyes are brown. And she was like, yeah, Lauren, I have brown eyes. I was like, Grandma, no, you don't. You have very blue eyes. What do you mean you have blue eyes? And she was like, no, Lauren, I have brown eyes. So whatever, we eat. She takes me home, and this is the whole thing. I talked to my mom too, and I'm like, Mom, Grandma has brown eyes. And my mom was like, yeah, Grandma has brown eyes. No, she doesn't. She has blue eyes. What do you mean she has brown eyes? Like, everyone knows that Grandma has blue eyes, and everybody was making me believe that I was crazy. The next time that I see my grandma, 3 days later, my grandma has blue eyes again. So of course I'm like, Grandma, your eyes are blue. Why are your eyes blue? And she's like, yeah, Lauren, I have blue eyes. What do you mean?
Grandma, the better to see you with, my dear. Seriously. Anyway, please do continue.
What do you mean? What do I mean? We just had this conversation 3 days ago when you had brown eyes, and I told you that you have blue eyes, and you're telling me that you have brown eyes, but I know that you have blue eyes. And now that you have blue eyes again, you're telling me that you know you have blue eyes? I'm not crazy. This was not a dream. I did not dream this. This happened. This was reality. I mean, it was like Monday on Thursday. Now you have blue eyes again? Like, I did not make this up. This is still with me to this day. I think about this to this day. My grandma had brown eyes that day that I went to Wendy's with her after school. I didn't make that shit up. Like, that was reality. I didn't miss a day. Like, this happened. Has anybody else ever experienced anything like that? With people's eyes changing colors? And they fully believe that their eyes were a different color. I'll never forget that.
So like I said, definitely.
Good God. This lady here, she's great. I don't know what her name is, but she always ends up on these like scary, spooky story time stuff or whatever, glitch in the matrix compilations. She's always a part of it. God bless her, but Jesus, hell, Christ is loud when she comes in there talking. Maybe it's just me. Yeah, alrighty. Hey, did you ever have anybody change their eye color on you? I can't say I have. I can't say I have. No. Nope. Nope. Ain't never happened. Um, but who knows? Maybe it happened to you. All right. Well, we got through 4 of these. What do you think about that? I don't know how much longer. I mean, this was sort of just a bit of an experiment. Doing the live thing with the StreamYard and OBS. But I'm working on some recorded content. The thing about like recording the content and then uploading it or whatever is, it takes a lot more. It's a lot more work because you got to edit and everything, which is fine. I don't mind doing the video editing, but it ends up being just like data hog on your machine, And it's like, I'm just complaining, but so when you're streaming, it all goes right onto the server for whatever the streaming platform is. It doesn't end up on my device. You know what I mean? I don't have like a 3 gig file sitting there. Yeah, all right. That's neither here nor there. Neither there nor here. Yeah, I mean, we might do maybe a couple more of these turkey videos here. What do we got? We'll call what's her name? Anti-Matrix or something? Jessica Vision. I don't know. That's that lady anyway. All right. Well, you said this gal down here, it's Ashley Inc. She's probably about the best one, She's really good at this. So if you don't, if you're into this kind of thing, and you're not following her on YouTube, she got a pretty decent channel on YouTube. Ashley Inc. ASHLEEINC. Yeah. Okay. Well, good God. Yeah. It looks like there's another glitch in the matrix here. Well, let's give it a go. Let's see what she got to say. Oh my God! Why is paparazzi so freaking? You know what? No, I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing that. Paparazzi. Well, you get a copyright strike. I just don't need it. You know what I mean? This lady here, I've seen her before.
I don't usually do videos like this, but I literally just got proof. I can't even talk. This just happened right now, and I'm gonna show you proof. My heart is beating a million miles a minute. Okay, so I just finished breakfast, right? Mind you, I'm sitting here by myself, and I fell back to sleep after I woke up to go to my morning workout, right? And as I'm eating breakfast, I'm thinking to myself, dude, why was I so exhausted? I went to bed at at a decent time for me not to be that exhausted. Why did I fall back asleep? So, it's late morning now. Like I wanted to get up, and be up by 5:30, 6 o'clock. Then it dawned on me, oh, that's right. We just added a medication to my regimen to help with anxiety. That it's like a bedtime thing. It's a very low dose. And I remember that I took it around 9 p.m., around 9, 10 p.m. And I thought to myself, that might be what it is, right? That I'm taking it too late. So it's like, it's making me groggy or it's making me tired, even though it's not. Anyways, that's the point. So I go, let me put a reminder for earlier in the evening to take it. Okay. Guys, I'm going to show you proof of this. So I'm sitting here eating breakfast, watching videos, right? And I go, hey, her name? I go, set a daily alarm for 7 p.m. That's all I say, right? She comes back and says to me, and I'm going to show you the proof. She says, a 7 p.m. alarm for your anxiety pill has been set. I didn't say what the alarm was for. I didn't even say it out loud. This was all an internal dialogue that I was having. No one is here. I'm going to freaking show you, because the thing came up at the top. Look. So like I said, I was watching videos. So I was watching this lady's video about, the gossip, whatever. And look at what it says. Look at that. Now, look at how, and one can say, oh, you Photoshop that. Watch this. So this photo, for some reason, I had to crop it because when it's big, you can't see the top. But watch this. Look at the Siri bubble right here. Because she had just spoke it to me. I have never been one to really feed into those type of things. But if that isn't proof that we're in a simulation, if that isn't proof that these things are reading our minds, that just blew my mind. I don't know.
Hey Siri, set a daily alarm for 7 p.m.
I turned on your anxiety pill PM alarm at 7 p.m. starting today.
Stunning Girl, Charmix, Red Rum Beef. I got it all, y'all. I don't let you read and watched and everything else.
Guys, we are in a simulation and I just got proof. And I don't usually do videos like this, but I literally just got proof. I can't even talk. This just happened right now and I'm going to show you proof. My heart is beating a million miles a minute. Okay, so I just finished breakfast, right? Mind you, I'm sitting here by myself and
Yeah, I've seen this lady's video about this before, and I got to say, there is a lot of evidence about the simulation, but I don't know for sure that this is it. This is more, this is nuts and bolts, folks. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah, there's patents on this stuff. You can look it up. For example, you probably didn't know this, right? But if you're wearing Apple AirPods, in your ear. Yeah, I noticed that people are doing it less these days. For a while, it was really popular. But you ever look at the patent on those things, what they're actually doing? Because you wouldn't expect it. See, I'm pretty old, I remember when they came out with the Sony Walkman, and wow, you could put your cassette tape in there. You just bop it around to music playing, and that's all that it did. It wasn't connected to a network, right? Everything was analog, magnetic tape on a reel. Wired headphones. There were no digital networks anywhere. Even the television was broadcast analog, Yeah. So you never thought about it. And then fast forward, and then they come out with these AirPods, right? And it's cool because you're not tethered to a wire, That's cool. Right on. I can dig it. I want wireless headphones too. Except, it's like I said, these things are, if you think it's just going one direction, like it's just playing music for you. That's one direction, but it's also reading like your EEG or whatever, your electromagnetic information. So when you listen to a song, um, they know how you feel about it. Did it make you sad? Did it get you pumped up? Like what what did you feel? What do you think about it? So if you don't believe the AirPods are doing that, then I envy you because ignorance is bliss. But if you really want to know, the information's out there. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. But yeah, um, and this is what I was saying to you about the phone. This is why I turn that shit off at night, and if I'm going to have it charging or I'm going to have it on or something, I'm not going to have it right next to me. That's for sure. Because these things are entirely reading our field and your thoughts, and your feelings. You think your thoughts and your feelings are unreadable, huh? Well, let's think of it like this. Would you just bear with me for a minute? I mean, most of us are using the internet right now. I mean, if you're watching this video, you're online, and I'm broadcasting it online. So uh, now here's the thing: you can be plugged in with a hardwire Ethernet cable, but that's pretty much dinosaur stuff these days. There's not a whole lot of people doing that. Most people connect to a wireless network, a Wi-Fi, right? Wi-Fi. Well, let's say you're not at home. You go to your friend's house or something, and it's your first time there. And you say, "Hey, what's your Wi-Fi password?" Right? Because until you have that, you can't connect to the network. So all of that information is there. All of that information that we enjoy on the internet, it's all around you, right? That Wi-Fi signal is you're soaking in it. Your device is soaking in it, but it's not connected, so it can't read anything in that field. You know what I mean? Now you think about everything that zeros and ones can do. I'm referring to a binary language, but everything that zeros and ones can do and their combinations as they are um, sent out into the ether in magnetic packets of information. Uh, all the television shows and stream YouTubers and stuff, right? Like everything. And you think that they can't read your thoughts or whatever when because you are, this is kind of what telepathy is, like the signal that we send out. We send out a signal. It's an electromagnetic signal. We have a wireless field around us. So you put those AirPods in your ears like you just gave them the password to your field, because the technology is designed to read that. It's not just playing music; it's also collecting data. So, people say, well, smart. You hear the word smart thrown around a lot. It's a smartphone. It's a smart city. It's a smart fridge. You got a smart dishwasher. Everything in the house is smart but me. Well, SMART is it's funny about the word smart because they have smart bombs too, and that's smart. Smart doesn't mean intelligent. Look that one up. At any rate, SMART is an acronymous. What's the right word? It doesn't matter. Each letter means something, right? So, SMART is surveillance, monitoring, and reporting technology, I think. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not what it stands for, but I'll tell you this: it cannot be a smart anything if it is not connected to a network. If it does not have network connectivity, then it is not smart. If it is connected to a network, then you can bet the surveillance, monitoring, and reporting is part of what's happening there. So just a word to the wise will suffice. The world is not what you think it is. Or maybe it is. It depends on what you think of it.
Okay, you guys. I don't know what in the fucking glitchy matrix is going on this morning, okay? I've been holding off on making this video because I'm not into the conspiracy theories and all of that bullshit. But something happened this morning that made me do this. Okay, so check this out. I have this necklace I've had for years. One necklace, one set of earrings that matches it. It's been broke forever. It's been in the drawer. I don't wear it. So tell me, how come the other day I was going through my dresser and I found a third earring? I couldn't find this one forever. And I kept having one on my dresser and one on my little box I put my jewelry in at the end of the day. I found it the other day. Why are there 3 earrings? Where did this one come from? Okay. So what brings that to mind is the fact that I'm walking down the hallway to go grab my purse and my coffee so that I can leave for the house this morning. I look down on the floor and I start freaking out. And I'm like, oh my God, my house key. Yes, it's Yoda. Why is it on the floor? Holy shit, my dog's got my keys. My key fob's on there. My work office key is on there. Everything is on there. Oh my God, he's got a hold of my keys. So I run back and go get in my purse and I pull out my keys. Y'all, it's on my key ring. Hold on. Okay. My keys. Here's the one I found on the floor. I have never bought 2 of these. Y'all, and it's the same key to the same house. I've only ever bought 1 key to this house. All of the spares are just silver. Where the fuck did this key come from? Where did the third earring come from to match the set that already has the earrings to it? Y'all explain it to me. I'm lost.
Can y'all explain it to her because she lost? Yeah, well, it depends, right? I mean, ça dépend. Like, are we so? It doesn't make perfect sense, but it makes more sense, right? If you as a thought experiment, replace material reality that what's his name? Fig Isaac Newton. Uh, the apple hit him on the head, and he was like, "Oh, we live on a globe, and it goes around the sun." Newtonian physics. So if you set that whole notion aside, you say, "Newton, go back to sleep. Y'all got it all wrong," and you say instead, it's a sort of a digital matrix, a holospheric simulation. Well, then it makes a little more sense. Again, it just didn't make perfect sense because it's a glitch. I got 99 problems, and a glitch ain't one of them. But I think so. If we now, I had mentioned early on the theory that Archaix puts forth, Archaix, and I'm going to mention it a bunch of times probably because it's the only thing that's making sense to me anymore. But if we're moving towards what he would call a full server reset, right? That's 2178. Now we're only at 2026. 2178 still far way off, but this whole process really starts in 2040, which isn't that far off. It's about 14 years, I guess. If I did the math right, it's 14 years to the year 2040. And that's when things are going to get weird. But if it's in the tail end of a cycle, let's say it goes 6,000 years or whatever, and we're at the very like the last 100 years of a 6,000 year cycle, then things could start getting kind of glitchy. You know what I mean? Like it needs a full server reset. It's just a theory. But I mean, how do you make sense of stuff? And let's just for a minute, because we talked about CERN a little bit. And if I said, yeah, I said, what are they doing over there? You'd say, well, they're smashing particles. And that's true. That's true. That is what they're doing. They're smashing particles. But in the course of doing that, they generate a really significant magnetic field, like a magnetic field bubble. Now, why does that matter, Mike? What is that? I don't care if there's a magnetic field bubble. But we live on Earth, and from what they tell us, that Earth generates its own magnetic field. Now, I'll tell you something. You maybe didn't know this, but your heart generates your electromagnetic field, right? Each individual, we all have an electromagnetic field. And it's generated by the heart. That's why when it stops ticking, they go clear, zap. Frankenstein. It's alive. It's electric. So electromagnetic, and so the Earth has an electromagnetic field, which is like a bubble right around the planet that basically like shields us. They say from the like solar flares and solar radiation or whatever. And then we've got the North and the South Pole, which that's probably the thing, because there's evidence throughout history of the poles shifting, right? Polarity. And I mean, the North Pole, magnetic North, right? True North is one thing, but magnetic North, I think, is wandered over into Siberia. And if 2040, 2046, 2178, I think like the calendar cycles are saying probably a pole shift there, right? Because if you switch polarity on an electrical signal, it can really change things, Anyway, my point is, I'm going to get to it. All right, CERN, right? CERN is generating these massive magnetic fields that are like so many X, right? So many times stronger than the Earth's magnetic field itself. Is what now? Yeah. I don't know. Could that possibly have an effect? I don't know. These days, I don't even. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to make sense of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, all right, we're going to do one last one, folks. And thanks. You've been a fantastic audience. Just give yourselves all a big round of applause, Thank you. Yes. Been fantastic. Yeah, we're gonna watch this one here, and then we're gonna bounce. Anyway, what happens is they get a little too carried away with these sound effects. I had made a bunch of sound effects. It was a few years ago. I did it because I was using Mozilla Thunderbird, right, for my email, and every time like an email comes in, it's like a notification sound. So it was like it's the magic feather, or yeah. Um, this one here though, you're not going to recognize this one. It's Colossal Carnage. Look her up on YouTube. There's a little story behind that. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and watch Ashley Inc. here on whatever it is that she's got going, and then in hell, I guess we'll call it a night, huh? Everybody on board with that? Any objections? Well, I have a total of 0 watching, so I think it's unanimous. All right. This is Ashley Inc. A little bit of reaction, and then, you know.
Brooke sent me a message and she said, I either saw something I wasn't supposed to see or experienced a glitch in the Matrix moment. I'm not sure. I've never been able to make sense of this. And after reading her message, I'm curious too. So I'm thinking maybe there's a police officer or a sheriff out there who may be able to weigh in and explain what was going on here. But Brooke said this happened in Lakeside City, which is a small town in Texas. And at the time she was making deliveries on a food delivery app for extra money. And on this particular day, she had her husband and her 2-year-old daughter with her. Their final delivery for the day. She said she pulled into a gas station, filled up the pump, and as she was sitting there waiting for the gas tank to fill up, she was on her phone transferring funds from one account to another. And all of a sudden, her husband looks at her and he's got this horrible look on his face and he goes, look right there. And he motions to the pump right next to them and they see on the ground, laying on the cement, is this lifeless man. And she goes, oh my gosh, what happened? Because that man was not there when they pulled in a few minutes earlier. There's no other cars at the pumps, nothing going on. And basically, as soon as they see this man, this sheriff jumps up in their window and he goes, what are you guys doing here? Put your hands up. Their hands raised. She said that they told him that they were just delivering for an app and getting gas, and she was just sitting in her car transferring funds, but that they had no idea what was going on. And also, she said they looked around and they didn't see any police cars or anything to indicate that there was a police presence in the area, but this man was wearing sheriff attire from head to toe. Well, you guys need to get out of here right now. And she says, obviously, they listened to him. They were freaked out. So they pulled out of the pump and they were driving around and they were trying to figure out what happened. They're like, maybe it was a robbery gone wrong. So she said after a little while, they drove by, but they didn't see any type of police presence in the area. The man was gone. The sheriff was gone. Nothing to indicate that anything had happened, and not that much time had passed. So they go home, and she said the next morning she was still curious. So she gets online and she starts looking up if there's any robberies in the area, who's on crime, anything that would explain what she and her husband saw the day before. But she said she couldn't find anything. She even checked social media pages. Couldn't find a thing, but her husband's curious about it too, and he actually had a friend that was a sheriff on the local sheriff's department. So he's like, I'm gonna call my friend and see if he'll tell me what was going on. So he calls his friend, explains what happened, and his friend's like, nothing like that happened in the area. I would know about it. She's like, we're being gaslit. So she calls the gas station and she's like, hey, I was there, yesterday. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. I saw the man in the parking lot who was lifeless. And the person who worked at the gas station was like, that didn't happen yesterday. It was like, I was here all day yesterday. I didn't see anything like that. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you sure you have the right gas station? And Brooke said she felt completely gaslit, still has no idea what happened. She has Googled many times to no avail. That it's a small enough town that she thought that eventually if she asked around enough, somebody would know what happened, but nobody has any idea of this happening in that town. So she says, am I crazy for thinking it's a glitch in the Matrix, or what do your followers think? I don't know your thoughts. I know this one was short. I'm going to post another one in a little bit. Hey, Brooke sent me a message.
Oh, well, Sheba, I had thought of something I was going to say. Now I forgot it. It's terrible. It's terrible. Because it was going to be great. It was going to be the best ever. You never heard anything this like good before. I was about to say it. I don't remember what it was. It must not have really been that important. Oh, hey man, if you haven't tried Warcry, you should check it out. Do I need to tell you there's paid advertisement? I didn't really get paid for this. I do have an affiliate link. I don't have it posted anywhere. If you go to the alexjonesstore.com/rockstone, one word, then that's my affiliate link. Warcry is smelling salts. Want to know why I have smelling salts sitting here? You don't want to know why I have smelling salts sitting here. But I looked into it too. It's like, what is that stuff? It's, I guess what happens is what wakes you up is because I was like, this smells like cat piss, but it's ammonia. And apparently the ammonia is like so, it shocks your system so much that it gives you like a shot of adrenaline. You're like, ooh. Sometimes you need it. Anyway, it's good. I mean, those are good smelling salts, though. AlexJonesStore.com/Rockstone for my affiliate link. Don't worry. I got other ways of making money. You don't have to go there. You know, I can make money without it. But it's getting crazy out there, kids. I don't envy you youngsters at all. No, sir, I do not. You must be probably one of the greatest generations of human beings. I believe that. People said them folks who went and fought the war against Hitler, they was the greatest generation. Fuck that shit. Fuck it. They were conscripted, conscripted. They were conscripted. They were thrown into a fucking meat grinder for the. Anyway, don't get me started. My point is, and they came back and they had the baby boomer generation. The fucking boomers. You're telling me that was the greatest generation? You got it all screwed up. I'm saying the youngsters today, you youngsters today, the ones you'll never watch this video. You're the greatest generation of humanity, man. And, you think, see, these are the salad days. These are the good times, and everybody has problems and things are always kind of shitty. But these are the best times. You will always remember these were the good times. We had power, we had food, we had the internet. There's coming times we're going to see like a lot of population numbers getting smaller. It won't happen all at once. It might be in certain places of the world, but yeah, it's all part of the package. So yeah. Anyway, never let them see you sweat. That's what they used to say. I don't care if they see me sweat. If I could put forth just a small slice of personal philosophy, it has served me well, and is perhaps more needed now than ever in the world. And it may come off crass, it may come off insensitive, but I'm telling you, for your own personal sovereignty, for your own sanity, because of all the entitlement out there, that they think that they're entitled to your electromagnetic body signals. You're not. You didn't give them permission for that. You didn't consent to that. See where they get away with it is, well, you bought the device and you're using it, so therefore you consent. No, you tricked me. Anyway, so there's a lot of entitlement out there to you. People will say you owe them something, but you don't. You don't owe them. You owe them nothing. That's what you owe them. You owe them jack shit. And Jack just left town. So here's my philosophy, a little slice of personal philosophy. And if you take it to heart, and you'll find it serves you well in this day and age. And I got this from my mother. She looked at me, and I might have been maybe 10, 12 years old, and she said, Michael, fuck them if they can't take a joke. And that's the first thing. That's number one. That's number one, just to keep yourself sane. There. Anyway, thanks, for hanging out or whatever, watching this stuff. Again, this really was just an experiment to sort of see if I can do this right. I mean, it may be terrible, cringy, hard to watch, but if I got it correct, if I pushed all the right buttons, that's a win for me. So, okay, well, I guess that's it. I was thinking, like, I knew I've got like some kind of outro video somewhere. And just because, again, this is experimental. So, like, if I was really gonna, like, next time, I'm gonna be like really gonna get it right. I'll have it all set up and ready to go. But I think, let's see if I let's just see here. Yeah, Babadoo. Babadoo. Let me look this up here. Oh, you know what? I know I don't have it because I recently moved a lot of data over to a cloud server to get it off my laptop, Man, that's kind of a drag because I was like totally, whoa, whoa, settle down there, federal agent. I don't know if you could hear that. All right. Let me see here. I'm sorry. Like the fact is, if I was doing this for real, I would have tried to been a lot more smooth about it. But here we're trying to actually just see if I can punch the right buttons. And so in that case, I was gonna. I mean, you could. Take off because I'm not. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything different now. I'm just. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to. Really, that's a good question. What am I doing here? I'm trying to do a little outro video, and I know that I have it. Or maybe maybe I don't. I really thought it was here somewhere. Okay. Well, this is just so that I know in the future that I need to do a better job of shutting it up. Shut that up. Yeah, forget it. Okay. Yeah, there's a better job in the future to be had. And not just me, you can do better too. Until then, rock on. Yeah, rock on.